It's the Date Master, and yes, we're back. Yes, we're back. A lot going on. We're gonna chop it up. Yeah, people have been asking me to, what's my take on this whole Will Smith, Chris Rock situation. And I spoke to one of my guys, and I told him this is a sheer example of beta rage. Some people have coined it Simp Rage and things alike. But let's break this down. What has taken place? Why did this happen? Was it scripted? It's a few things. Let's say, for the sake of content purposes, this is not a scripted act to up the ratings since last year was the lowest rated Oscars. See, you see a lot of people critiquing the conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theorists, but we're too gullible. We believe everything we see on TV because if it's on TV or social media, it has to be real. I mean, it must be real. It's on social media. This can't be fake. I mean, wrestling is fake. Acting is fake. Real-time TV is fake. I mean, they would not do anything fake on the Oscars. There's no way they would do this. We're very ignorant. I told you we have an ignorant arrogance. But for the sake of content purposes, let's say this is real. What you have here is a male punching bag who has reached their limit. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. For the last bit of, I say, 2 to 3 years, possibly more, I would say more, Will Smith has been the butt of Jada Pinkett's secondhand desire. She's lusted over Tupac on several occasions. The most infamous was her entanglement, quote unquote. See, we come up with these different terms because women feel giving things a different term it gives a different definition, and that's not the case. So a man has been pushed to his breaking point, and to where most of the jokes came from a female space. So he cannot act out his aggression to women because he know how detrimental that would be to his career and to his legacy. See, Will Smith is a man, he's trying to keep his legacy intact when he see his forefathers, such as the Bill Cosbys and other actors who are on his level or higher, get taken down. They get taken down, ruined, and they're forgotten about. All of their works forgotten about. So he's been keeping his head on a swivel to see what's going on, but he also has been tucking his tail. So what women don't understand is that men can only take so much, to where you see the beta rage. On a lower level, you see this more in a domestic violence scenario. You had the guy in Baltimore, I believe, who killed himself and killed his ex and his fiance because the ex, the baby mother or ex-wife, was making up lies and allegations about him touching his daughter. And then the previous girl he was with was threatening taking his children away. See, these women don't understand that Jada Pinkett was lucky in this scenario, that his rage was not taking out on her because she's the sole reason for him being in this position anyway. Her actions, her behavior is the sole reason why Will Smith is crumbling and calling out for help in front of you, and we're making fun of it. See, men's health is a joke to most people because we're supposed to just take it in stride. We're supposed to turn the other cheek. So people have formulated their own opinions about Will Smith, him being beta, him being a simp, him not controlling himself. But you must understand, a man in his position doesn't think like me and you would think, because we're not in the same position. You take a man who thought he had a loving wife, but to be embarrassed and publicly humiliated in the manner that he has been humiliated, it will take a toll on your psyche. Your children straddling the fence of sexual ambiguity. All of these things weigh on a man's shoulders heavily, and women take it for granted because, again, the last woman, I believe, I don't know if she was part of the alphabet community on the carpet, she made a joke about the entanglement also. He had no smoke for her. So people are pointing out the hypocrisy, I guess, in his actions. But you must understand, Will Smith knows what game he's playing because he's been playing it. You look at his behavior over the years. You saw him when he was on national TV with his son, trying to kiss his own son, and his son was like, no. And you can tell that he was forcing it as if he was being told to do this. And you saw the shame in his eyes as he was trying to kiss his own son on the lips. So you have to do the history before we break these type of situations down, because things just don't come about. There's a buildup. There's a snowball effect, and you see him snowballing into what you see now, where he would slap a person and then get on the stage and cry during an acceptance speech. He would make it about everybody but the man. He didn't make it about Serena and Venus's dad. He made it about the mother. So no one can tell me that there is not an agenda to mute the pain, the anguish, and frustration of men when you see what Will Smith did the other day. None of this is by happenstance. I keep telling you this. All of this is by design. A lot of the things you see on TV, you think is just because the Oscars, it's not as live as one would take. There's no way they would be able to do this 100% live as a live stream. There's no way. But this is how villains are made. Villains are made when they're ostracized, when they're doxxed, when they're treated in a manner in which they think their behavior should be celebrated. He thinks he's doing the good thing by staying with his woman, standing beside her, sticking up for her, etc. But why would you protect someone who disrespected you themselves? Oh, but let me guess, men are not given any off days. He still has to stand in the mud with his woman, even though she treated him like a sucker. Even though she is on national TV talking about lusting after other men, Tupac, talking about her predatorial relationship she had with August Alsina, who was also going through mental issues. But no one speaks about her behavior. No one speaks about the things she preyed on this young man. If the shoe was on the other foot, if Will Smith would have been sleeping with one of Willow's friends who was of age, he would have been all type of demons and predators. But this is an example of the beta rage. Whether he's right or not, people stand on what they stand on. You cannot fault them for that. However, seeing that he's a public figure and his relationship has been public for some years, I myself would not put myself in that scenario, because Chris Rock is a comedian. He does jokes. This is what he was hired to do. So people are talking about him standing up and try that in the real world. Try that in the real world. And see if you won't be pushing up daisies. See if you won't be pushing up daisies. I've seen men intervene and try to protect their women from their own behavior and lost their lives because of it. So people are really having a debate about the type of man that would do such a thing. It's not Will Smith being pushed to the limit. They're trying to break down the type of men. This is the conversations people are having. They're trying to break down the type of men that would do the same as Will or would do something different. So this is how a man's struggle gets lost in translation, because now it is the type of man who would do this versus Will Smith in particular, who was pushed to this limit. And yes, he should be held accountable for his actions, of course. but so should Jada Pinkett. Because again, she's the sole reason why he is breaking down and turning into a villain right in front of our eyes. Once women choose a man and she knows this is the man worthy of commitment, she knows his strengths and weaknesses for the most part. This is after a certain point in their lives, though. After they have reached the wall and they have not been able to secure the Chad, which they know they were not going to be able to secure the Chad, they'll pick the beta, the most valuable beta, and they will make him seem as if he's the one when he's the one that will do. You must understand that a lot of the women that you're in relationships with, you're the perfect beta. You're the perfect beta that will take her and ride off into the sunset with. Now, if she's providing and doing her wifely duties, which is adding value to your life, then you may have an even exchange. Almost an even exchange. But this is the thought process between amongst women of a certain caliber, an age group, and a certain mindset. You must do everything to please her. You must do it and say everything that speaks to her inadequacies. You must not highlight them. You must not put them on display. And people wanted to break down the joke, talking about she has alopecia, as if this is the equivalent to stage 4 cancer. And it's not. It is not. Now, was he wrong for doing what he did? Let's say if it was on neutral grounds, to where this was a wife who has not publicly embarrassed you. I'm going to play devil's advocate. A wife who has represented you well. A wife who has maintained and carried your name with the grace and the value that it has. I would say he would not be in the wrong. He would not be. He did not make a bad decision to defend her in the manner in which he did. Now, again, you must understand the smoke that comes behind putting your hands on another man who is simply telling a joke, of course. But some men have women that have been everything they need and more to them. So you can kind of understand why a man would react in a manner if the woman has added value, has maintained a certain presence, and has carried herself with dignity and pride. One would not see any fault in his actions, because you do, as a king, you do protect your queen. Now, do you take it to the length of hitting another man in that fashion? No. You could have addressed and went up to the stage and snatched the mic and corrected him. Or not. Again, you have different avenues you could have taken. My perspective is, as a man, is this the length that you go to when a man disrespects your wife? No. Because your woman can get you in trouble, and you must understand that you have to pick your battles. You must pick your battles wisely and choose your battles wisely, because it can cost you your life and your freedom. But will we see more beta rage from other men? Of course. You will see this happening. You will see more of this. This is why you must keep your composure and understand what your woman does have an impact on you in the long run. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, subscribe. It's the Date Master.